He makes her bid for a little piece of history.
Hello and welcome to the run of the race. Brittany Taylor and Mark Warwood with you to review what was a big Easter weekend of racing. Of course, all started off on Good Friday, Mark, into Easter Saturday. A big smorgasbord of racing.
Yeah, and some really good performances as well. I think Simon Miller's Yard were in tip-top form, and I think one of the themes of the weekend was the form of the female jockeys, and in particular those apprentices, Chloe Azzopardi and Jay Bernard.
Yes, the girls with 6 of the 8 winners on the Saturday. Let us start with the Friday and let's take a look at the features in terms of their numbers. We'll begin with the Sheila Gwynn Classic and let's take a look at the performance of Celebrity Dream.
And last of all is for Lion Machine by the 550. Lady Cosmology about to extend. Ms. Lecky right over the speed today. 3 deep. She's done plenty of work in Skin and Tins. Is certainly going to make her work even harder because he kicks up now on Skin and Tins coming into the home corner. Classic Pro nearly making a line of 4. Back on the inside Electric Light, but Parnham's often going with Lady Cosmology. Down to the 250. He draws the whip. Lady Cosmology, the leader from Classic Pro. Down the outside, Celebrity Dream coming with its run. On the outside, Celebrity Dream races up, grabs the lead now from Lady Cosmology, Classic Pro, and Celebrity Dream came away to win untouched.
Celebrity Dream doing what she does best, and that is dominate fillies and mares races. She's just been so successful throughout fillies and mares series, and again puts up a nice performance, a -10.
Yeah, I got her wrong. I had her in the sack file a couple of starts ago. I know she's now probably going to be retired, but that was a very good performance. -10.1 off what was, you know, an okay tempo, but not absolutely blistering. Doesn't make the file. The horses that do, forgiving Electric Light here, probably better suited over the 1200, I think, having looked at her data, and possibly fell due to that gutbuster last start. So willing to give her another chance. I'm going to forget Ms. Lecky here. It might well be a little bit controversial, but she was only 3/4 of a length off her PB on Saturday. I just don't think she's anywhere near as good as we think she is, and she had won on a soft track before, so I don't think that excuse really carries any weight. The follow horse, I think, is Lady Cosmology. Led what was a pretty strong tempo. It was a PB effort in defeat, and it was the first time on a wet track as well, and Simon said they probably thought that she didn't handle it.
And of course, you mentioned that soft track there. It was really quite wet on Friday, so all of these figures, of course, they do account for the wet track.
They certainly do, yeah. Punting form take into account all types of things, including wind and the ground conditions.
All right, a horse that did get through the ground just fine was the 2-year-old Tin Snip.
Impact has made good headway. It strides right up now to be 4th with 500 left to run. Second from last is Marcia Lady, and last of all is Kelvin. No more than 4 or 5 lengths from the leader. Semigel will bring them for home though in the Montague Partners Sires Produce. 400 left to travel. It's Semigel from the Grey Filly Specialism. The baldy face Beethoven. Tin Snip trying to track it home. Divide the Sea. Kelvin followed by Marcia Lady. Semigel 200 to go from Beethoven Specialism. Tin Snip starting to really flatten out and he's running on. Specialism though grabs the lead. Specialism, Tin Snip coming. Tin Snip, Specialism. They'll split it. Tin Snip. Tin Snip got there a lip.
Tin Snip winning the Sires there. Group 3 level, but the figures here plus 3.3. What do you make of that?
I think it's similar to the Caracatta. I don't think this is a good bunch of 2-year-olds. Tin Snip was the follow horse out of the Caracatta and duly got the chocolates in the Sires. I think it probably is the follow horse out of this race, but I suspect looking forward to the Guineas next year, I'll be looking at other horses we haven't seen thus far. So Tin Snip is the follow. Fastest last 200 to win. Was wide in this race as it was in the Caracatta. I'm forgetting Marcia Lady from the Miller Yard, simply not one of Simon's better 2-year-olds, and I am forgiving Specialism. Looked like the winner all bar the post. Bounced back after being off the speed in the Caracatta. Wasn't suited that day. Much better run in the Sires.
All right, that is a look at the 2 features from Good Friday race day. Then 24 hours later, we were right back at Ascot for the Saturday card. Let's start with the first, and this one was won by Dance Music.
Ford back with its superstardom by the 550, and it's the 2 fancies, Locking Horns, Catherine Wheel. Stake having a look over the right shoulder, finds Azzopardi right there, breathing down his neck with Dance Music, and they're going a fair way from home. 2 in front of Friday Fillies, and Agapta Driftstar will just keep the peepers parked on these 2 at the top of the straight. Dance Music looked to be going a bit better though than Catherine Catherine Wheel and gets away from the fence. Shifted about 4 off that rail. Now draws the whip as a party. Races about a length in front of Catherine Wheel, followed then by Advocator. But Dance Music is starting to extend and come away. Oh, she's a nice filly on return. Fine win, Dance Music.
Dance Music recording a nice victory on return to the racetrack. An overall figure of -6.3. A very nice figure.
Certainly was, but she's done better than that. Her PB is 2.5 lengths better than what she produced on Saturday. She's won 5 from 6. Her only loss was in that farcically run race at Belmont Park, that's Pablo's Poem Run. She's clearly the follow horse here. The Forget horse is Drift Star. He is totally one-dimensional. He has to find the front. Both of his wins have been leading all the way over the 1,000 metres. I'm going to forgive Catherine Wheel here. Was a PB effort by 2.4 lengths on Saturday. Did race quite keenly when leading for the first time in her career as well, and just ran into a really, really smart one in Dance Music.
Well, a lot of people had it as a race in 2 and 2 very smart fillies, but clearly Dance Music was the pick of them on Saturday. All right, the next race, this one was won by Summer Sky, and what was an emotional victory?
With Noadaroo, 3/4 Summer Sky, now being heeled up, we'll meet again. Pulled out 3 wide, has to really be put under pressure though to go forward. On the fence, Press the Peddler, length and a half, Spiritual Warrior, held up now at a crucial stage coming into the corner. Likewise, High Energy, Witness and Courts around the outside, very deep from Gage. They're into the home straight. Summer Sky levels up to Noadaroo, gets about a neck now at the 200. 2 lengths, Press the Pedal, will meet again. Spiritual Warrior, High Energy going back to the inside. They approach the 100. Summer Sky in front from Noadaroo. Spiritual Warrior climbing out of the ground, but it'll be Summer Sky's day. Summer Sky beats Spiritual.
Summer Sky had been knocking on the door. Nice to finally see this galloper get a victory.
Yeah, great story this, but fundamentally a pretty ordinary race for a Saturday. Looking at the file, I'm going to forget Gauged. Steve Wolf told the stewards after the race that he would campaign this horse out of town in future, and looking at the rating of nearly +12, you can understand why. The Forgive and the Follow horse is High Energy. I think he was unsuited by the modest tempo on Saturday, was also held up for the entire straight, but did come home with the fastest last 200 metres. Not a race I really want to think too much about.
All right, the next race. This one was won by an interesting galloper. This horse can be a real handful to ride. He's not the easiest ride, but Lucy Warwick managed to get Valago
On the inside of leading man, Geiger Gem, Son, and last of all, it's Valago at the 500 metre mark, bringing them to the home corner. Groover Shaker a length and a half off him. Friars Fantasia, he wanted to spit the bit out there and he's off the bridle. Vermont Lady screaming for a run behind them but can't get clear, and Geiger Gem's around them. Valago with a big lead at the top of the running. Valago led down to the 250, about 3 or 4 now on Geiger Gem, Friars Fantasia, and then Groover Shaker, leading man, starting to weave its way through, but look at Valago go. It's Valago racing clear. Gee, this has been a great win, a daring ride to come from last and stole it. Valago by 3.5.
Valago winning there. Now, Mark, this is a galloper that doesn't do himself any favours. He's usually slow away, which was again the case on Saturday, so particularly good performance by Valago.
Yeah, -9.2 to the 600, and considering he was slow away, he must have gone exceptionally fast from about 1100 to 800 for Lucy Warwick when they decided to make that move. I love the way that Darren McAuliffe after the race said he's a bit of a head case, just like the trainer. Great comment from D-Mac there. He's the follow horse here. Mid-range surge from that 1000 to 600 after losing 2 lengths in what was a pretty slow start. Castor Plate as well. Very good performance, and if he gets his act together, he will win better races than this. I am forgetting Tribute to Mary. Was vetted. There was nothing amiss. He's now restricted to non-metropolitan races. I am forgiving Vermont Lady. Finished 4th here. Was pretty keen, and then the saddle slipped around 1,000 metres from home. Was unable to be ridden out quite fully. I don't think it would have changed the result of the race, but this horse has not had any luck in its recent runs.
All right, the next race was the West Australian Cup. We look forward to this race as the only 3,200 metre event on the calendar. And Capodoro, who has been running good races in the Country Cup sort of circuit, well, came out and ran a bottler of a race.
Crossley Hotshot, Threads of Ivy calling it a day, and passed by Juicing Carrots. They've got 500 left to go. Sacks on, sacks off. Only ahead now to Midnight Banquet. O'Donnell bides his time with Dark Musket. Come play with me. Back behind those, just looking for a bit of room from Capodoro, the widest of them. Further back in the field, Juicing Carrot. Sacks on, sacks off, heads for home. Dark Musket got him quickly though. It's Dark Musket with Capodoro. He's starting to really reach streaked through the bridle under the 60 kilos, and he's got them as well. There he goes, Capodoro. Put pay to them from Come Play With Me, who runs to second from Dark Musket, but a brave win by Capodoro.
Capodoro winning the Western Australian Cup for the Cup's King, Peter Hall, just adding another cup to his CV. He has a habit of doing that.
Great performance by Capodoro, 60 kilos. Hawley had never ridden this horse before. He's the follow horse here. I think he's a pretty capable stayer at this level, around black type, lower end of that black type, particularly if the tempo's even or slow, and it was only even on Saturday. I'm going to forgive Come Play With Me, third consecutive minor placing for this horse. It was an okay run. He's probably just overrated, I suppose, and I think he's probably disappointed the camp a little bit. The Forget horse has to be Dark Musket. It looked like his race. He won it 12 months ago, but he did struggle over the last 200 metres, and his run was nearly 6.5 lengths inferior to his win in 2018.
All right, that is a look at the West Australian Cup. We are going to take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll have a look at the remainder of the meeting.
Beach running with the boys. What were you thinking? Beach running with the boys on a horse? Legendary. Life's better with horses. See you at the races. Oh, quick!
Welcome back to the Run of the Race, where we are up to race number 5 from Saturday's race meeting, and this one was taken out by Majinika.
Found a bit of cover there following Special Delivery, and then over on the inside at the 600, Midnight Sky, who's well out of its ground, and ridden along Tonka Tough brings up the rear of the field. McNaught goes for home now with Majinika coming to the 400 mark and shot him away, 2 clear from Dutch Spy. The same margin, War God, Run Liam Run, Battle Talk, Special Delivery, and further back Friaress, but it's Majinika approaching the 250, a length and a half to 2 clear. Dutch Spy, War God, Majinika showing the Persuader, approaching the 100, still clear from Dutch Spy, and then War God, Midnight Sky, but it's Majinika, much too good. That's a great front running ride by McNaught. She came away.
Credit to Jade McNaught there. I remember first up she said to me, I want to be on this horse next start. It will be winning, and duly saluted.
Yeah, a couple of good runs this campaign for Majinika. Doesn't make the file, however. I'm going to follow Friaress out of this race. Was really well supported in the betting market. Settled towards the rear in what was a slowly run race and came home with the fastest last 200 metres. I do think there's a win in there for Friaress. I'm going to forget Dutch Spy here, and the reason is I think the connections are now going to get sucked into racing this horse over this type of trip. 1400 he won last start, went over 1500 on Saturday and finished second, but both of those races have been dead set pedestrian. I think they might get sucked into something they shouldn't. Forgive Tonka Tough here, was pretty keen, came back with a tongue over the bit. He settled last in what was a slowly run race, and in spite of that mishap, came home with the second fastest last 200 metres. Forgive Ron for mine.
All right, we are up to race number 6, and you mentioned at the top of the program how the ratings were dominated by the Miller Yard. Well, this is another one of his stars, Valor Road.
And Sterling, so they're humming. Further back in the field, then when they get going is Seeker, second from last, and the tail ender, My Demi. But Mervyn had them running. 500 left to go, and the Goldfields Grey Mervyn by 2.5 lengths undisclosed. A further 2, Valor Road, Hoboken, Dia Delarazza. Moulton going up in between horses, followed then by Captain Sterling. They're homeward bound at the 250, and Mervyn's well clear. It's Mervyn 3 in front from Valor Road, running on strongly down the outside. The leader's off his feet. Here's Valor Road and Hoboken. Mervyn's gone, tackled by Valor Road. Mighty win, and Valor Road goes home to score. A brilliant victory by the 3.
Valor Road giving Chloe Azzopardi the second leg of her treble on Saturday, but what a performance this was. They were going red hot fast.
Yeah, he didn't get away particularly well, and that's been a trademark of his, particularly in his Karrakatta when he was sensational out at the gates. I thought he was absolutely outstanding on Saturday, Valor Road. He's clearly the follow horse out of this. He did it at both ends. He was third at 600 metres in what was a fast run race, came home with the second fastest sectionals, and Chloe Azzopardi, what a ride. She just simply didn't panic, and this horse did the rest. Forgetting Dia Delarazza, again, no higher than 5th in any of its 8 starts since winning a Belmont race back in September. And I'm going to forgive Mervyn here. PB effort, first up without a trial, led what was a very fast tempo, and he also kicked as well. He had the fastest 600 to 400 split, a really good effort, only outshone by Valor Road.
And we look forward to seeing Valor Road head to Adelaide now. The plan from the camp is to target the Group 1 Goodwood. So very excited to see how our WA star measures up over in Adelaide. Now, we mentioned Chloe Azzopardi just then. Well, this horse was able to give her treble in Settlers Creek.
Further back in the field by Settlers Creek and Debilatio at the 550, and it's Mrs. Brown's Boy who leads the way. Won a hard-fought battle for the lead over Turbo Power. Harry Thomas over on the inside of Peppy Jack, and then 3 deep around those. Almost 4 wide Pin Sun. Little Fish 5 deep coming into the corner from Dicoletto. Supreme Force is starting to sneak home along the rail. Turbo Power on the outside. Got his head in front of Mrs. Brown's Boy. Pin Sun, Harry Thomas trying to bullock into the clear. Little Fish down the outside comes Settlers Creek with a run. At the 100, Settlers Creek, Little Fish have come together. Settlers Creek reaches the lead though, and Settlers Creek has given Azzopardi the third leg.
Settlers Creek winning there, and perhaps we should have seen it dropping down in grade, and a horse that always wins one amongst his preparation.
Yeah, the fixed odds punters on track didn't miss him at 25 to 1, and dropping 2 grades, and a horse that is a former Ascot Horse of the Year who generally wins 1 per preparation. It was a deluxe price. He doesn't make the file. The horses that do, the Forgive horses, Debilatio, he was travelling really nicely around the turn with 16.5 kilos on his back, but he was held up for the entire straight when he looked like he had plenty to give. I'm going to forget Harry Thomas here. He finished third, but he's now a serial non-winner. And quite simply, I don't think he's run the ratings to win a fairly good race in town. The follow horse is Little Fish, came out of a hot form race prior to this, running to a really big class dropper in Settlers Creek. And I also think he might be a little bit better suited over 1200 rather than the 14.
Rarely puts in a bad race too, Little Fish. It's a horse you can back with a bit of confidence because you know he gives his absolute all. All right, let's take a look at the lucky last race, and this one was won by Double Bubble.
Kenny 3 deep around it, then is Orange Strudel, and the tail ender is Regal Moon, and they've gone without the pre-post favourite in Free Trade. Scratched at the barrier, 550 to go though, and Double Bubbles in control for McNaught. 1.5 lengths in front from King's Authority. Pocketed down on its inside, Salamart. Sigil 4th in the blue and white quartered cap, being followed back behind them. Sixpence Spent, Truly Belong and Sebring Spy, but Double Bubbles off and gone at the 200 mark, and Double Bubble shaken up by McNaught in front. Races clear of Salamart, King's Authority. This last event is all over, bar the shouting, folks. Double Bubbles blowing them away. Double Bubble races home to win by about 3 lengths, Salamart.
Double Bubble winning the last, was able to control things in front. Was that the key to his victory?
Certainly was. Tempo was very slow here, nearly 7 lengths slower than benchmark to the 600. Looking at the file, just the 2 horses in it. The Forgive horse is Regal Moon, settled last in what was this very slowly run race. Only saw daylight very late in the straight, but a clear fastest last 200, a lot faster than any other horse in the field. Regal Moon's also the follow horse because she's obviously capable of winning this grade, probably even higher as well if she puts it all together. And the Forget horse, it's Sigil. He's the Tom Melbourne of Western Australia. Although Tom Melbourne did win a race a few weeks ago, not even Chloe Azzopardi could get him home on Saturday.
Hey, if Tom Melbourne can win a race, Sigil will too. I'm sticking with him and going to keep with the faith for Sigil. I'm sure he'll be able to break through one soon. Well, I hope anyway. All right, let's have a look at the meeting in its totality. We'll start with Good Friday's meeting. We had such great racing. Who makes the best of Friday?
Yeah, star performance was clearly Celebrity Dream, minus 10.1. That's a black type performance every day of the week. And the class as well, minus 7.9. She looks like she's going to become a mum next year. Adam Durant desperately wants to keep him in his stable, but I don't think it's going to happen. Looking at the closing sectionals on Good Friday, Elsa's Tribe, the 2 and the 4, and Celebrity Dream, the 600.
All right. What about Saturday? Is it one of the Miller runners?
It's a Miller Quinella, I suppose you'd call it. Overall rating was Valor Road, minus 7.1 in winning that 3-year-old plus race, a 70+ handicap. What a wonderful placement of the horse there by Simon and his team. And the best class rating was Dance Music, minus 7.3. Looks like Dance Music's going to stay in WA, whilst Valor Road goes over to SA. And looking at the closing sectionals, well, it was Regal Moon, and another one who's always in this file, My Demi, last 600.
Always is running a race home. Okay, that is a look at the meeting in its totality. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll be looking at the tip star of the week.
Arriving for a hot date on a moped. Disappointing. Arriving for a hot date on a horse? Fantastic! Life's better with horses. See you at the races.
Welcome back to the run of the race, and it's time to look at the tipping competition for what was a huge weekend of racing. Let's start with Good Friday. Was it a big result or not so much?
Probably a middle of the road result. The best score you could get was 1,819 points from the 9 races. You needed to have your big bet on Unibro, and you needed to have Zachariah Bell as well, who paid $11 and $2.40 to place.
Novak Smith, our winner on Friday. What did Novak have?
He got just over 1,300 points. He had his big bet on Unibro, and he had 6 of the 9 winners, so a very good performance there.
He would have been having a great start to his Good Friday when he's tipped the first 5 winners on the card and then another one later in the afternoon. Hopefully he had a few dollars on each of those, because he would have ended up with a very nice Easter kitty to play with. Let's take a look on Saturday. And what sort of overall score were we able to get on Saturday?
Maximum score was 2,245. Absolutely key to it was Settlers Creek at $24.90 and $5.40 for the play. So you needed to have the big bet on Settlers Creek, and one of those players was Rob Mason. He got 1,915 points, and he had the 3 winners: Settlers Creek, Valor Road and Summerside. But something very interesting happened in the last race, Brittany. The favourite was scratched at the barriers, and that means in this competition you get the lowest numbered saddlecloth. So it's not the favourite, not the tote favourite, you get the lowest numbered saddlecloth. That happened to be number 1, Salamat, an outsider. It paid $10.10 to place, ran second in the race. It didn't affect the overall result. Rob would have won nonetheless, but it's given him an extra few points in the overall competition.
Quite extraordinary, really. Usually you're always complaining when the favourite comes out and you're given your substitute, but in this case, a $10 to place horse is something that you're very happy to say yes please to, and Rob was the beneficiary of that. Does that get either of them on the overall top 8 leaderboard?
No, it doesn't. Keats is still leading the way here, nearly 9,500 points. He extended his lead over the Easter long weekend. He's just under 1,000 points in front of King Chief. We've got 14 rounds of the 19 gone, so 5 to go, and the next one's on Anzac Day.
Of course, 2 opportunities to gain some more points with Anzac Day as well as Saturday's meeting, so plenty of points still to be gained in this competition. Looking forward to seeing who our winners are next week on the run of the race. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.
He makes her bid for a little piece of history.